He's done some amazing things with us, and he's got some really interesting strategies about mortgage acceleration that we're excited to bring to Renatus, and we're really excited to have him in the recording studio the week of July 7th through the, 7th through the 9th or 10th there? Anyway, it's that week. He's going to be in there on Wednesday. Mark Kohler's going to be in there on Thursday and Friday. We're doing some fun things together as he teaches people how to pay off their mortgage in record time and get control of their finances. That's Santos Kidd, top income earner and instructor for Renatus now. So Santos, come on out here, my friend, and train the nation. And I'm going to move the presenter controls over to you if you're all ready for them. All right, Santos, okay. Take it away, my friend.
Hello, everybody. I just wanted to, I was crying the whole time Jordan was talking, because he's a guy who keeps telling me, he's struggling, this and that. I said, that's not who you are, It's what the system did to you. And you need to understand the system, and, you're going to learn how to get out faster. So he became a sweet client, and then opportunity came with Renatus, and he just jumped on. So amazing. Now, I was kind of shocked. Because everything that Renatus has done is so overwhelming, but I just love it. But at the same time, sometimes it's kind of overwhelming, because when I went to Chicago, what Nancy Rose said was, you were thrown in there into the fire, and you actually did your thing, and all I really do is want to believe in helping people, and that's what I really wanted to do. So I was given the opportunity, then I would just have to do it. And I know this all coming from where I struggled. So it's kind of good that I was able to share what I went through and teach others. So anyway, enough of that. I wanted to thank you, Bob, for giving me this opportunity to have everybody listen to this company called Sweep Strategy that me and my business partner formed. But I wouldn't be here without Tony Scotti. And Tony Scotti knew Renatus so well, like the back of his hand. And when he became part of our family, he started opening my eyes to, to Renatus thinking. And I owe it a lot to him. So anyway, just wanted to shout out for Tony Scotti there, if you're listening. So I'm going to start here with, I had this client. This actually happened to me when I was reviewing Renatus clients for Sweep, because when I did the Chicago, they were calling me in. So this client came to me, doesn't have a mortgage, renting. They have $67,000. Can you see my screen? $67,000 debt, and a bunch of credit cards all over the place, averaging almost 18%, and they're paying about $1,500 a month, breaking even. And they're not, and they're renting, and they want to pay off their debt. And they just want to get out of it, and they don't know how, because they're breaking even. Another client came to me telling me everything is okay. I own a property. I have no credit card debt. I only have a $67,000 mortgage at 5.375. My mortgage payment is about $375 PNI, and I'm not broke. I'm positive about $1,200. So the question I'm going to ask people that are listening is, if you could see the screen, which is better, a person with $67,000 in debt, 18%, breaking even, and thinking they're struggling, or a person who have no debt, own a property, and 30-year mortgage, $375. Most people think that they don't have debt and they have a mortgage, and they don't view it as debt because they want a tax deduction, which is nothing wrong with that. So when you really understand the two numbers, I'd rather be on the 18% side rather than on the 5% side. And that's what I want to get into. So let me teach about loans. This is, keep in mind, just summary of what I'm going to be doing on the video. with Renatus. So this is a short version of it. So loans are basically, personal loan, business loan, construction loan. All of these are loans. They're front end loaded, mostly interest up front. And in 5 to 7 years, people refinance and start the clock over again. And all they're doing is making payments. The only way they know how to pay it off fast is extra payments. But it's one way. They cannot take that money back out. And then we end up throwing other debts in there. More car loan, we're stretching it to 30 years, thinking we're saving money by throwing our car in there. Our student loans, we stretch now to 30 years, and we refinance our dream homes and never pay it off. So all we're doing is stretching all the debt. Loans, pretend you owe $300,000, 6%, 30 years, and this is average here in Hawaii. In the mainland, you have in United States, you have $100,000 properties, but play along, okay? You get the idea. On the left represent months, your balance, and then the next column is called payments. This is how much going to principal of the 1,800, and then this column is how much you're paying in interest out of 1,800. Ending balance for the month, how much accumulative going to interest, how much going to principal. So there's two columns here, adding up. Next month you pay 1,800 again. It's a $299. But what is the difference between the two the 2 months? About $1 something. We're only adding additional couple dollars to our mortgage, but we're struggling to make the mortgage payment. When you go down to 4 years, $375 and $376. What is the difference? $1 something. We're only adding additional couple dollars every single month. But in 48 months, 4 years, you now gave to the bank or financial institution $86,000 of your hard-earned money, but you only dented your mortgage $16,000 and $70,000 is interest. Now, I'm not questioning your principal. I'm questioning the total interest you're paying. That's a lot of interest on a $16,000 principal. It's mostly interest up front, so let's look at it in a year. 1,800 times 12 is 21,600. This is where your 21,600 is going. 18,000 is averaging in interest in a year. Divide by your payment, 1,800. That's 10 months out of the year's interest. 2 months out of the year is principal. And then the next year, 2 months. Next year, 2 months. Next year, 2 months. In 5 years, 1 year is principal, 4 years interest. And we start the clock over again. So now, if you multiply 1,800 by 360 payments, 360 payments is equivalent to 30 years. That comes out to 648,000. Top right. But you're going to end up paying 348,000 in interest, and that is upfront, front end. The back end is 300,000. So most people, every time I ask them, how much do you owe to your debt? They always say, for example, here, principal, 300,000. And what is your payment? They always say 1,800. 1,800 is called P&I, but you're only telling me P when it comes to your balance. You should be telling me P&I balance, which is 648,000. You do not owe 300. You owe 648. You sign a contract. You're going to pay 2 houses for 1. So when you look at the two numbers, all you're doing is paying all this interest up front, and then you never see your balance of your mortgage dropping, and you're still wondering why it's not going away. All you're doing is just paying a lot of interest. When you look at the two numbers, this is how much you borrow, this is how much you're going to end up paying in the life of the loan and interest. Does that look like 6%? Or does that look like more than that? Maybe it's time to look at it like it's more than that. So, it's starting to look like 120%. So when I ran the 5%, came out to 100, the 4 was 80, the 3 was 60, the 2 was 40, the 1 was 20. They've been telling us to look on the left-hand side, but we're actually paying on the right-hand side. This is what we think our low rates are. Oh, it's low rates, 4%. You're actually paying 80% majority of that. That debt is 80% in interest upfront. So I started looking at it saying, is you guys' formula, when I'm talking to the bank, the CEOs of the bank, is you guys' formula double the number, add a 0? Doesn't it look like that? Double the 6 is 12, add a 0. Double the 5, add a 0. So I discovered I'm creating a cheat sheet for you to look at your debt, your interest rate, like it's not really low. You start to need to look at it like on the right-hand side. But it's not really done like that. In reality, the name is called amortization or amortize. To me, the word amortize is just not good. That's how I view it. It's not really low rate. It's an illusion. So nothing wrong with that. It's just business, right? Now, there's a lot of, now I'm going to talk about another product called simple interest. There's so many of them. We're just going to use one of them. These are some of the tools we're teaching them to use. Let's look at a credit card as one tool. Simple interest. Whatever we borrow, multiply by the interest rate. So we take a $15,000 line of credit at 7%. You're going to end up paying $1,050. That's per year. They divide that by how many days in a year. You're going to end up paying daily. They call it ADI, average daily interest, which is averaging about $288. Times that by 31 days, your minimum monthly payment is about $90 in interest. So there's two payments. One is called P&I and one is called interest-only payment. If your payment is $200, $90 is interest, $110 is going to principal. But you get the idea. Now, if that's how much you're going to pay in interest on the $15,000 per month, they have a name for this. They call it non-amortized. Mortgage is amortized. So loan versus line, what did we learn so far? Well, a lot of people know that a line of credit is revolving, like a credit card where a loan is one way. Line of credit is non-amortized, a loan is amortized. One is smaller, one is bigger. One comes with checkbooks, one doesn't come with the loans doesn't come with checkbook. That's how you can tell you have a loan when you don't have a checkbook. Now, for your balance on your mortgage to drop to $285,000, it will take you 45 months, which equivalents to bringing down the balance to $15,000. $15,000. So 45 payments times $1,800 every month minus $15,000. The total interest you're gonna pay is about $66,000. Here's the message, so you'll see it. The column on the right represents principal. The column on the left is showing you how much is interest. Start to look at it like this. The principal on the right is telling you the cost of interest up front. So the $15,000 front end loaded, it comes out to about $66,000. Okay, so that's how you need to look at it. You borrow from a friend $15,000. 45 months from now, he's going to collect $66,000 of interest. Wouldn't you ask him what interest rate is that? Doesn't that sound like 400%? See, so the $10,000 closing cost that you throw in there for refinancing is now paying $47,000 of interest. The $10,000 credit card debt, the $10,000 credit card you threw in there, you're now paying $47,000 of interest. The $10,000 car loan, the $10,000 student loan you throw in there, you're now paying $47,000 of interest. You need to start understanding that the cost of interest on your principal that you're throwing in there is much greater than if it's on a line of credit. So if we move a chunk of it to the mortgage, to the line of credit, $15,000, You drop it now to 285. You save yourself 66,000, but the line of credit is only going to cost you $90. So the product is the same. Before it was one product, 300,000. Now you owe 285 on your mortgage. You now owe 15,000 to your line. So you still owe 300. You didn't add any debt by using a line. We transform the amortized into non-amortized. We're going to show you this on the video, which is we're using OPM, other people's money. We didn't touch your savings, your retirement, your college money. We use bank's money to chunk down your mortgage using a line. So you cannot get any clearer picture than this. Okay? If you're watching at home, take a picture of it with your iPhone. It lasts longer. The 15,000 is costing you front end 66,000. The same 15,000, and you move it to your line of credit at 7%, you're only going to pay $90. Even if it took you 30 years to pay that back, $90 times 360 months, you rather pay $32,000 at 7%, or you rather pay $66,000 in just 45 months at 6%. Okay, so you need to start looking at the principal, how much is really costing you front end. I told you the 6% looks like 120. If you get a calculator and you multiply 15,000 by 118%, you're going to see that 17,700 a year divided by 365 is 48.49 a day. That's average daily interest. Times that by 31 is 1503. It took you 44 months. In 44 months, it will cost you 66,000. So the 15,000 for you to pay 66,000 of interest in 44 months is equivalent to 120%. Let me say that again on this side, on the loan side. The 15,000 is costing you 66,000 of interest, and 44 months is equivalent to 120%. But we call it 6. That 6% is really not 6%. It's higher than that. There's no, there's no way, it's gonna take you this long. Why are you scared of 18%? You're already there on your mortgage. Times that by 5. You need to understand that if this is what's eating all your money, the reason why we're all living paycheck to paycheck is we're just giving majority of our money to interest. When you move the 15,000 to your life, and let's say you paid it off in 6 months, 6 months, 20 months, 100 months, it's not going to be equivalent to 66,000. Affected with your whole income, you're going to end up paying more. You're going to learn that in the next video. So let's go back to the actual clients earlier. If you look at the 2 scenarios of the same client and 2 different clients, they're actually in the same picture. I'm going to open a mortgage calculator and a line of credit calculator. And that's what we're teaching is how to run numbers. Let's look at a loan. A person with $67,000 mortgage, their payment is $375, and the life of the loan, all the way at the bottom, it will take them 360 months to pay it off. They're going to end up paying $68,000 of interest on a $67,000 mortgage. Does it not sound like 100% interest rate? But they want this $68,000 up front. You're only denting your mortgage $67,000, which, by the way, in Hawaii, $67,000 property is, we don't have one here. It's a down payment. So you're paying out of 375, 75.08 in principal. Next month, 375, you're paying 41, 35, 30 something cents more. All you're doing is just dunking your mortgage 30 cents more every month. That's the person with $67,000 credit card debt at 18%, and they are breaking even because they're paying about $1,300 to their debt in payments. Even if it took them $69,000 of interest, at least they pay it off in 109 months. 109 months is better than 30 years. So 109 months divided by 12 comes out to about 9 years. I'd rather pay off the $67,000 in 9 years at 18% any day. Because after that, that $1,300 is now going to my pocket for the next 21 years. On the mortgage, you have nothing to show for. So let's go back to the same question that people always ask me all the time, tell me all the time. Oh, I'm okay. I don't need your program. I don't have any debt. I only have a property that I own, and I don't want to pay it off because I need tax deduction. So if you look at the two, if you are in the right thinking you're okay, you miss my point. You're not really paying 5.375 on that debt. You're actually paying 100%. Double the number, add a zero. Over here, I'd rather pay more, at least some of that money is going to principal rather than over here, nothing going to principal, very little. And it will take you 9 years at 18%. And I'll do that anytime. Don't be scared of 18%. It's simple. Be scared of the 5%. They're two different products. People come to me telling me I'm breaking even every month. I have 30,000 car loan at 550. I got them a line of credit, and I moved the 30,000 to the line of credit at same interest rate, 4%. Their payment to their car is $100 versus $550. I start showing them how to attack the car with a line rather than on a loan. It's one way. People end up paying off their car in a year versus a 6-year car loan. So people come to me and says, I have 20,000 in credit card debt. I want to get rid of. I'm stressing. I can't sleep at night. And there's some people come to me. I have 20,000 in student loan, so I'm okay. I don't really have any debt. Just a student loan. I'll pay that off when I'm ready. They don't realize a student loan is a loan that's going to take them forever to pay off. And they're so in a hurry to pay off their credit card. You should have the same attitude with your student loan, because that's really costing you more money than your credit card. I have a student, which is a client, that had a 43,000 student loan. We're transferring that the principal to the credit card at 27%. We're paying down the 5,000 in principal chunk at a time. We're saving us thousands of dollars. In just 6 months, we were halfway done in a student loan versus take them forever to pay it off. This is my actual mortgage. One of my property I bought in 2003, $234,000 with no equity. I just bought it. I started chunking this in 6 months. Chunking is we're biting the elephant one bite at a time, moving it to the principal. In 6 months, I went from 234 to 206. On the amortization schedule, this is what it looks like. I went from 234 principal to 206. I knock off 78 payments. I saved myself $65,000 of interest in just 6 months. I would never pay that much of interest on a credit card or a line of credit. And I did it again the next 6 months. In 1 year, our local bank here gave me 100,000 equity line, and I used it to buy more properties. So actual clients come to me, they have zero left at the end of the month, and they're broke, and they don't know what to do. They can't pay down any credit cards. They can't pay down any student loans. When we sign them up in sweep, in just a couple of months, they already have more cash flow, 4480, and paying down their debt faster. Before, nothing left over, 30 years is never going to pay off, and not enough money for college. After a couple of months, they have 4,000 left over, pay off all their debt in 7 years, totaling almost 400,000, and they have money for their college. That was in 2011. This client came to me, $600 positive, make good money. We sign up on sweep. We sit down with them 4 months later. They have 7,000 left over. They'll pay off all their 400,000 in debt in about 53 months. So a lot of people come to me and they tell me, you know, how do you help me? You need to understand that sweep and Renata are actually working together, not just one or the other. When I started, I didn't know Renata, so I was only focusing on paying off one property and that's it. Tony didn't know sweep, he only knows Renatus, and he was upside down 2,500. He'll tell you his story. And, you know, when he learned sweep, he became positive so fast, and, you know, he understood the program. And so when I learned Renatus, I took off fast because of what Tony taught me. So I've learned how to leverage on OPM. I've learned how to leverage on banks. So the way I did it, though, was I learned how to use a game called cash flow. Cash flow, I lose a lot of money on a board game, but I can start over. But in real life, I would never know how to start over. So, for example, every time I pick a life and I'm a janitor, I said I rather you know, put my own numbers in there. So I started putting like a dishwasher income. It didn't have dishwasher card in there. So it's even lower than a janitor. You know, I said, well, I got to pick a life. I already have a life, you know, and I was struggling. And so I used my own numbers to build wealth faster, yeah. And so with Renatus, you know, it taught me how to use it different when I learned cash flow. The key for a lot of people's success is how to understand the board game. People are just so focused on teaching real estate to others, but they themselves don't understand the bigger picture of the cash flow. And that's why we want to make it mandatory for our clients on sweep to attend, is because they're really understanding how to use their money wisely rather than be smart with their money. There's a big difference. And so when you understand, I have a financial advisor giving me advice. I said, before you give me advice, can you play the cash flow game? That way, you need to understand what I'm doing. And when I watch a financial advisor play the board game, I'm discovering that their thinking is so traditional. They never get out. They file for bankruptcy in the game. They lose everything. I said, now that you play that, yeah, you need to understand sweep. They became a client and their thinking has changed. And the advice I'm getting is now different. So that's when I realized that sweep became a glue that put together financial advisor, CPA, mortgage broker, realtor, banks to work together to help us rather than just people are pulling you like a rag doll. Don't invest in that, invest in this. Don't do that, you need tax deduction. Don't do this. With sweep, everybody's now working hand in hand. When I discovered Renatus, that was the missing link to my company. A lot of the people that I'm meeting, they don't realize how advanced they are. Their thinking has already have changed. The only difference now is that they need to learn how to understand sweep. Sweep is getting rid of your debt. Renatus is building your cash flow. You make the two work together, you get out faster. Somebody told me, I already paid a lot of money for Renatus, and I don't know if I could afford to pay for sweep. And I said, okay, well, you spent $20,000 on student loans, and you don't find nothing wrong with that. And now, you know, you're educating yourself about finance, right? And, you know, and you find something wrong with that, but yet the number one reason for divorce is money, and you're not educating yourself about money. And when I look at your numbers, you're going backward. You know, the only way you're going to move forward is to get rid of your debt. Most people play the cash flow game, and they have money, but they never pay down their debt. They're always so focused on building their wealth. That's the reason why it's dragging you. When I started playing the cash flow, I started using, oh, I have $1,000 sitting on a table. I have $1,000 on paper. I'm paying $40 a month. I gave it and paid that $1,000, and I wiped out my debt. And next, I hit another paycheck. I got another 1,000 out coming in. Oh, I could start paying down my debt. It was so much easier to build my cash flow and nothing was dragging me. So that's how I discovered it. And I started teaching people. So if you ever fill out a SWIP application form, you're going to realize that the application form is similar to the cash flow game life, the paperwork. You know, it looks identical because it has the cash flow at the bottom. So most people, you know, what is the benefit of learning SWIP? I want to go over some of the benefits of it so you understand that we're so focused on building your cash flow using SWIP. So for those of you who are learning, you know, when you understand SWIP, you're going to understand how to create a SWIP account. And that's what I want to teach you. You're going to understand how to use other people's money. You're going to understand how to create a faster retirement plan. You're going to understand how to build your legacy for your children. You're going to understand how to use for your business. And you're going to understand how to own a business. You're also going to understand how to use it for real estate. And you're going to learn how to use SWIP in a different, banks in a different way. And when you attend the workshops, you know, you're going to learn SWIP and Renatus together, how it works well together. Every time I go to a cash flow seminar, all I talked about is Renatus, you know. And people think I own Renatus rather than SWIP. It's because I understand the value of it. And people say, how come you took off so fast? I took off so fast because I understood the value. And a lot of people paid a lot of money and they don't see the value. They want other people to do it for them. You're going to learn the difference between loans and lines. You're going to understand the difference of interest rates. You're going to understand how to, why you no longer play the interest rate game, the refinancing game. And we're going to teach you how to help you get a better score working with error counts and credit nerds. We're also helping you with a lot of other things so you can get the tools. And for people who want to invest in real estate, how it would benefit them is that they're going to learn how to look at their real estate portfolio in a different way. You're going to learn how to get out of the rat race using real estate and SWIP, how to combine it. And then you're also going to learn how to look at the difference between creating cash flow, passive income, or fixing and flipping, how to make it work together rather than just one or the other. You're going to learn other tools, not just lines of credit. If the bank takes away your lines of credit, we're going to show you different tools. That's just one tool I just showed you today. I have clients who are using their credit cards to pay down their mortgage. I have clients using their insurance to pay down their mortgage. I have clients using 401ks to pay down their mortgage and other debts. So it's not, this is just one vehicle. And also, we're holding your hand step by step. You're getting coached. That way, you're not alone. And that's the reason why we're really mimicking the style of Renatus and with our company, teaching you videos, teaching you, you know, having a webinar every day, showing you all kind of new things. So those are important things to learn. We had to up our game with the company when we discovered we're going to be working with Renatus. And this is John O'Neill teaching our clients here in Honolulu how to use Renatus, and you know, and then I take over and show them SWIP. This is Tony Scotty teaching them how to leverage on real estate, increasing their cash flow. And this is Jared McConnell, who's partner with Mark Kohler, who's teaching our clients. He's an attorney, teaching our clients about LLC, S Corp, C Corp, self-direct. This is Mark Kohler. We have this 3-4 times, 3-4 months, 3-4 times a year. I'm sorry, every 3 to 4 months we have him here, averaging 200 people, all new clients. We have cash flow. I have better picture than this. It has bigger crowd. But Tony is holding their hand step by step how to use sweep and Renatus in the cash flow game. So that way they understand how to get out of the rat race faster than traditional thinking. A lot of people we meet in the mainland, they only know how to show the cash flow one way, which is the traditional cash flow game. Me and Tony discovered advanced cash flow. We were teaching basic cash flow to learn the basic. Then Tony came with advanced cash flow, where literally how to get out even faster using sweep. So people attend two classes. Just because you play the board game once, it doesn't mean you know what to do. You're expert at it. I have clients, they have bad days and they bankrupt, but they have good days when they own properties. Same thing with basketball players. They have bad days when they play basketball, right? And they have good days when they play basketball. So you're gonna have to learn how to get out of that situation, up or down. And this is a simulation. This product is simulation for your finance. I rather you lose everything rather than play the real. In real life, you have no starting over. This one you can start over. There's now an app, so download the app. So when you play the game, you can use your app. Look up cash flow app, and you're gonna now use it, and you can pick a life. So we're growing fast. So my advice to you is that please do your best to to learn more about sweep and Renatus together, rather than just you think one or the other. You're gonna understand the bigger picture of how I really did it, rather than just one way. It's not a mortgage program. It's bigger than that. And I want to thank you for allowing me to be here. And this is only 30-40 minutes. In reality, my video is going to be 3-4 hours, or 2 to 3 hours, I'm sorry. And I'm going to go more in detail what I went over today. So I really hope you tune into a lot of stuff that Renatus and Sleep are teaching you. Thank you.
Santos, my friend, you do such a great job. I'll tell you what, showing individuals how they can cut their mortgage down to a matter of a few years instead of a 30-year mortgage saves them an awful lot of money. But some of the advanced strategies that I know you're going to be able to share with individuals will blow their mind on how they can apply this to their real estate investing. So I can't wait to get you in the studio. It's going to be fantastic to have you out here in good old Centerville, Utah, when we can watch you work your magic in front of the cameras. You're doing a great work, and I just am thrilled to have you as a part of our team. You definitely are a good fit for the Renatus Nation. That's the great thing about Renatus. I mean, we are all in it together, and we're in it to win it. So, Santos, thanks for being our featured trainer. And to the rest of you across the nation, listen, it was great to have you join us. But, boy, I'll tell you what, this is just the tip of the iceberg on so many of the things that we're bringing to you in Renatus. We can't wait to unfold more and see your life change as a result of this incredible opportunity. Something to think about, this slide I've got up on your screen right now. If home is where the heart is, shouldn't your business be there too? It's all about change. Make that change. Good night, and God bless.
Good night.